Good morning, everyone. It's Robert from On My Turntable. Hope you're having a great morning this morning. It's Sunday morning. It's a coffee time of morning with my Tim Hortons mug. Not that I advocate Tim Hortons. I just like this mug. Holds lots of coffee. Today I want to talk about another favorite band of mine, and I've got a few of their albums to go over. This would normally be albums you need to listen to. This is the band you need to listen to. I find more their music is to me considered sophisticated, a little more mature. They put a lot of work into their albums. They hire a ton of session players to make the albums the best albums that they can make. We're talking about the great Steely Dan. Before I get started, please hit the like and subscribe button below. Thank you to all that have liked and subscribed so far. I greatly appreciate it. So this is their debut album, Can't Buy a Thrill. Nothing special about this particular CD. It's a pretty basic CD, but it's one I wanted to add to my collection. So this was their debut album, written by primary members Donald Fagen and Walter Becker. It's the only album to feature a different lead singer, as Donald Fagen wasn't comfortable up front, especially in live performances, being in the spotlight. So there's a couple of songs that this other lead singer, David Palmer, sings on. But before their second album was released, they had convinced Donald Fagen to hit the lead vocal spot again, and he's been lead vocalist ever since. So Steely Dan was on this particular album. David Palmer on lead vocals on the song Dirty Work in Brooklyn. Donald Fagen on piano and lead vocals on the rest of the album. Jeff Skunk Baxter on the guitar, steel guitar and lead guitar. Dennis Diaz on guitar and electric sitar. Walter Becker on bass and backing vocals, and Jim Hutter on drums and lead vocals on Midnight Cruiser. This was, I believe, their first couple of albums were the only albums where they had an actual band. Beyond that, it was filled with session players, sometimes up to 40 or 42 session players, because they wanted that unique sound. They wanted that professional, mature sound. So it's quite remarkable the amount of players they used on their albums. So I'll just play little snippets of the album itself. This is the title. This is the first song off the album. It's called "Do It Again." Classic on any radio station. Amazing song. Next one is "Dirty Work." Again, another hit for the band. Number 3 on side 1 is "Kings." Number 4 is "Midnight Cruiser." These guys have a unique sound. You can't. I don't think there'd be a cover band that would be able to cover Steely Dan because of the uniqueness of their music. Number 5 on the last song on side 1 would be "Only a Fool." Sorry, "Only a Fool Would Say That." Next one is another classic on radio stations, "Reelin' in the Years." I love this song, one of my all-time favorite songs by the band. Track 2 on side 2 is "Fire in the Hole." Track 3 is "Brooklyn." Track 4 on side 2 is "Change the Guard." Next one is, and the last on the album is Turn That Heartbeat Over Again. Great debut album by the band. Sorry I couldn't play any longer songs than that. I can only play little snippets of the album itself. That copyright thing on YouTube. But please check them out on Spotify. The next one I have on my list, and again another great album by the band, is Pretzel Logic. Okay, I love the cover of that one. Great photos in this album. Pardon me. I'm not sure what I can't remember what the booklet has inside of it. Oh, just a history of the album itself, I guess. Oh yeah, there you go. There's a picture of the band there. Such high-class musicians in this particular band, it's just amazing. So Pretzel Logic is their third studio album. Again, some main players on this one as well. This one was released in 1974, primarily written by Donald Fagen and Walter Becker. Includes members Donald Fagen on keyboards and piano, Walter Becker on bass guitar and backing vocals and guitar as well, Jeff Skunk Baxter on lead guitar, pedal steel guitar, Danny Diaz on guitar, and Jim Hutter on drums, plus a bunch of session players. Some of the session players included Timothy B. Schmidt from the Eagles on backing vocal, Jeff Porcaro from Toto on drums on the song Night by Night, and also vocals on backing vocals and sorry, my notes are all messed up here. Timothy B. Schmidt from the Eagles on backing vocals on Parker's Bend. I'm sorry about that. So this is again Pretzel Logic. I'll play a couple of little snippets from it here. I can find it. There we go. So this is a famous song from the album. This is Ricky Don't Lose That Number. Let me just fast forward a little bit. There we go. Classic on any radio station again. Next is Night by Night. Number 3 is Any Major Dude Will Tell You. Next one is Berrytown. Next is East St. Louis Toodaloo. That completed side 1 of the album. And then on side 2 it starts off with Parker's Band. Very jazzy, very amazing players on this one for sure. Track 2 on side 2 is Through with Buzz. Track 3 is Pretzel Logic, the title track. I love this song as well. Very bluesy, very great driven song. Track 4 is With a Gun. Track 5 is Charlie Freak. And track 6 is Monkey in Your Soul. So that's Pretzel Logic. Next one I have is Gaucho, which was their 7th studio album. There's the CD there. And no pictures in this one, just a lot of history of the album and the lyrics, of course. So as I said, this was their 7th studio album. It was released in 1980, and on this one, the band used 42 different session players. As they became studio perfectionists, it took 2 years to make this particular album. It marked a significant style change to a more minimal groove and atmospheric sound. It was their last studio album as they went on a 20-year hiatus. It was, I don't know why they did that. It was pretty remarkable that a band would do that. But we'll just go through some brief songs on there. Where's Gaucho? There it is. So it starts off with a huge hit for the band, Babylon Sisters. Another huge hit, Hey 19, another favorite of mine. Glamour Profession, track 3, very short album. Track 2, side 2, track 1 is Gaucho. Next is Time Out of Mind. Another minor hit for the band. Very smooth sounding album. Track 3 is My Rival. And the final track on the album is Third World Man. Very smooth, jazzy sounding record. Members included, of course, Donald Fagen on vocals, keyboards, and piano, Walter Becker on bass, guitar, and guitar solos on the song Gaucho. As I said, there were 42 session players on the album, including Larry Carlton on lead guitar, Mark Knopfler of Dire Straits on lead guitar, Jeff Beccaro from Toto on drums, great vocalist Michael McDonald of Doobie Brothers fame on backing vocal. Just a bunch of session players. Next one I have is an album, actually a vinyl, The Royal Scam. There's the back one there. The vinyl's in great shape. This is on ABC Records. So I believe it's an original. A great treasure. So The Royal Scam is their 5th studio album, released in 1976. It features more guitar work on this particular album. Skunk Baxter, had one of the founding members of the band, had left, so they brought in a variety of players, including Danny Diaz, Larry Carlton, Elliot Randall, and Dean Parks. A lot of cryptic clues and allusions to real and fictional people and events throughout the album as well. So I'll just play a little snippet from each. Where is it here? Royal Scam, there it is. So this is another hit for the band. So side 1 starts off with Kid Charlemagne. another staple of classic radio. Track 2 is The Caves of Altamira. Track 3 is Don't Take Me Alive. A very heavy guitar driven song. Track 4 is Sign In Stranger. And track 5 is The Fez. Side 2, track 1 starts off with Green Earrings. Sorry, I'm going to sneeze. You don't need to see that. Oh my gosh, sorry. My gosh. Track 2 is Haitian Divorce. I'm sorry, I don't want to start the video over. Track 3 on side 2 is Everything You Did. And finally, the title track and the last song of the album, The Royal Scam. Great album. I love it. So the members included, of course, Donald Fagen on piano, keyboards, and vocals, Walter Becker on bass guitar and guitar, and a bunch of session players again on this particular album, including Denny Diaz on guitar, Larry Carlton on guitar, Timothy B. Schmidt on backing vocals, and Michael McDonald on backing vocals as well. Some great session players on that one. And finally, the album I have is definitely not their last album, but I only have 5 of their albums, but definitely going to get more. This is the great album Asia. And the history of the album inside. This album's in great shape as well. This again was on ABC Records. So I believe it's an original. Sounds great. Love my vinyl. I have quite a bit of CD, but I do love my vinyl. So Asia was their 6th studio album by the band, released in 1977. It's the band's first platinum album and peaked at number 3. It includes the hits such as Peg and Deacon Blues and Josie. It was a Grammy Award winner for Best Engineered Recording. Another one that includes at least 40 session players, as Walter Becker and Donald Fagen pushed for more experimentation on a variety of session players. So they went through session players like water sometimes. So again, I'll play a little snippet of the album here. So it starts off with the great Black Cow, minor hit for the band. Track 2 is Asia, title track. Track 3 is a big hit for the band, Deacon Blues. I love how it starts. Another one, another hit for the band is Peg. Peg is the first song on the second side. Track 2 on the second side is Home at Last. Track 3 is I Got the News. And finally, track 4 is Josie. Again, another huge hit for the band. That ends the album as well. Great fitting song to end the album for sure. Again, I wish I could play more, but I can't. So I guess again, this includes Donald Fagen on keyboards, piano, and vocals, Walter Becker on bass, guitar, lead guitar on Josie. Um, it also includes 40 session players, including again the great Larry Carlton guitar solo on I Got the News, Dean Parks on guitar, Denny Diaz on guitar, and Michael McDonald and Timothy B. Schmidt again on backing vocals. They used a ton of players, but they definitely used some main session players as well. So that's my look at Steely Dan. Please check them out. They're on Spotify. I can put a link to the playlist that I have for Steely Dan on Spotify below, and please check that out as well. Thank you so much for watching. I greatly appreciate it. Have yourself a great Sunday, and we'll talk to you again soon. Bye bye now.